Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litza and today I'll give you a little tour of my updated and much neater yarn room since the last time you saw it. But before we begin the actual little tour, I thought I'd give you a little backstory. So we moved into our home 26 and a half years ago. I was pregnant to my son and my daughter had her 5th birthday here a few months after we moved in. Now the space that you are going to see, which is currently my yarn room, was simply a storage area in the attic. We just had a pull down door that we used to climb up some stairs, make our way in here and store, just some bits and pieces that we didn't have room for downstairs. Now, about 12 years ago, we did a major renovation and we went from the style of home that you'll see what the yarn room looks like to ultra modern. And we did we converted the attic space into an actual livable room, which became the children's rumpus room. Now, as you can imagine, there are many hours of joy that happened in here. The children played games with their friends. There were slumber parties. So this was a room filled with laughter and joy. I also used it and still use it as my scrapbooking room, and I'll show you where that all happens in a moment. And then eventually about a year and a half ago, because the children were all grown up now, 2 had already moved out into their own homes, my son would come upstairs and do jigsaw puzzles here on occasion with his fiance, his then girlfriend. I continued to be up here with Coco constantly with my scrapbooking and Litz's cookies little business that I had on, little side hustle. And then eventually, because Coco's Crochet became a little Wednesday night get together with my girlfriends, we used to actually hang out downstairs. But then I thought, oh my goodness, we have that space upstairs that is just sitting there, and finally decided to turn it into a yarn room. And so the fun began. Many fun hours up here, laughing with the girls, crocheting, drinking lots of cups of tea and coffee, and the joy just continued. That's why of late, ever since our little Coco fell into forever sleep, it was a little bit difficult coming up here other than to tape our videos for you. So I decided that it was time for it to be done. So welcome to the yarn tour, yarn room tour. I hope you enjoy it, and I just thought I'd let you know why it is so important that the place stayed the way that it was. It just needed a tidy up. Every piece of furniture that I'll show you in there has a memory attached to it. That's why it's not going anywhere. But it is a very, very useful space and a very fun space to be in. So I wish you were all in here with me, but this is one way of making sure that, when we hang out together, you actually know where I'm sitting. So this is the entry. This is the little table where we have, Coco's Crochet Corner, little tiara on a little doggy which represents Coco, and there's our beautiful pet wall of fame. Now underneath the table, and pardon me if I'm going too fast or too slow, is where I keep just some yarn that I've purchased from Crochet Society, and then we have a little makeshift yarn winder with some decorative yarn balls. Now across here you will see that I have some plushies which I will turn into loveys, of course. And on top of there, you can see some more loveys. Now in this box, guys, they're recent acquisitions, so I must tell you about those. And in the boxes there, they're boxes from IKEA. So all the storage cubes that you'll see here from IKEA, I just keep some yarn in there, in the ones on the back wall, the white, and they actually have mill ends in there, so I thought I'd better give us a different view, a little bit better. So here we are, guys. We're going to enter into the yarn room now. Absolutely love this. Now let's see, we'll go from one corner to the next. Now all the furniture that you see in here, guys, is what my house used to look like. So basically it had a country style look, but now we've gone to very, very modern, as I said. So let's go into this corner here. I'll go back into this view. So on the back wall here, you'll see that there's, some of those makes that I've made and shown you, and I use them as little props for some of the videos. And then in here, we've got all of our, you know, bands and things, you know, hair bands so that I can create the loveys. Just some journals, and in here are the little Halloween what are they, little buckets that I purchased for decorative purposes. But all that yarn that is sitting there actually lives behind the door in those, can you see them, guys, in those shoe, they're meant to be for shoes, but they actually are, you know, dual purpose. Up here you'll see, and I'm sorry about the lighting in here, is very, very poor. That's something the children gifted me, and I absolutely love it because I started baking through COVID continuously. And then over here is sort of like a little workstation, which you can't really see, but for my cookies. Now, over here, and pardon the way that I'm showing you this, it's a little bit of a tight space. In those bags there, and on the floor, and in that corner, see the rainbow coloured bag, and underneath are all my current sleeping whips. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish those soon and show you. But in here, they're all designated for affiliate talks projects, so hopefully they'll finish soon. Now let me just back off a little bit. In those totes and the trays are all of my scrapbooking papers and things, and this is the desk where I do all of my scrapbooking. Now never mind the mess, it is actually organized chaos, guys, but it is a lot neater than what it was, which is awesome. Now, this is a wonderful, very big table, as you can see. It was our dining table originally when we had it downstairs, and we spent many, many hours with family dinners. But Coco and I spent a lot of time up here scrapbooking when everyone was asleep as well. I remember spending 5 months up here at night time when no one knew, so we could create my partner's 60th birthday scrapbook. So that was a lot of fun. But now I use this area to journal all of my Coco's Crochet, you know, all of the adventures that I've had with you guys, but I haven't really done very much with it. So that's what I'm planning to do. That's, you know, a big issue for me, sitting down and just doing the scrapbooking and the journaling. It's just all about time, but that's okay. We'll get there. Now, in this corner here, and pardon the light, you'll see that I have my son's basketball, which is just a play one, and this is my daughter's old electric drum kit hidden under there. But over here we have, see that box? It's full of my yarn bands for the year, and across here you can see all those mill ends, and they are cakes of yarn, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Only some have been purchased, like you can see the ones with the ball bands, but the when I say purchased, I mean they weren't in mill end bags, but the rest are, and they are absolutely gorgeous, and I am slowly getting through them. Now over here, and I'll just turn us around, are all my cotton yarns, including some from Hobie, and then quite a bit of the cotton and acrylic blend under there as well. They are absolutely gorgeous, so at least I know they're in 2 boxes, easy to find. Now underneath the table, and you can see there's a lot going on under there, that's a lot of my patterns, and there's a cushion there and some fibre fill, so it's very, very useful as well. Now let me swing you around without giving you a belly ache. Now in this corner here is what I have left over for, so there's 2 bags there. They're for my squares for Tile of the Week Thursday, and then all the yarn that you'll see here, across here, the majority of it, except for this one here, this box has got some mill ends and some Semco yarn, but all of these that you'll see here are all Marvel 8-ply yarn, except for this one. It has some half and half, which is half acrylic and half wool, but again, you know, pretty much the same ply. And then we come to some mill ends, the same ply yarn. So at least I know if I need to get some DK weight yarn, I just have to come across to here, and there they are sitting there. Now on the back of the lounge you can see one of my blankets, the Ripple Granny Square blanket. I absolutely love it, and it brings more colour to this area as well because it is draped over a black lounge. Now let's go across to where I actually videotape. So let me stand back a little bit so I can show you. Now, I tried to make it a little bit neater. That's why I've draped that white sheet behind me. And in essence, what all that yarn is sitting in, and I'll show you another one where you can see it better, is a bookshelf that we had downstairs originally, and it's tipped down on its side. So in there, we've got a lot of well, I've got all of my velvet yarn and my baby chenille yarn on the right-hand side. So I don't want to swing around too fast, so I'll just show you. There's our little calendar that I always refer to. In here, I've got all the yarn that's been gifted to me from Josephine, and in the corner there in the back, you can see that big cotton, I wish I could point to it, but just behind the cards on the tabletop from Simone, and all the beautiful cards that everyone has gifted us. I will definitely be putting, displaying them some other way because it's getting a little bit crowded there. And there's Coco's crown. Oh my goodness, she absolutely is a princess. Now on the wall, you'll see that I've got fairy lights across, because the lighting is very poor in here. I'm going to back off a bit now because I do have a lamp on. And it is very bright, only because when we originally had this room set up, it was so there's the view of where I video. There's my cart down there, guys. I've jumped from one thing to another, and in there I've got all my buttons and the pop studs and things like that. And then down the bottom, just some notions, pouches, and some lights, some hooks, crochet hooks with that light up. Anyway, as I was saying, back to the lighting. Very poor lighting here, as you can see, because it was just a games room, but now it's been converted to a yarn room. We have to address the lighting situation. Now, on top of this bookshelf that's on its side, I've got some Crochet Society boxes, and this is the very first project I ever made, and the only one until I started hanging out with you guys. So when I do mention it, that's the one there. Now, on top of here, you'll see I've got my books, and most of them are amigurumi books. I absolutely love this one. And then over here I've got my magazines and other books. So these are the ones that Frances sent to me, so thank you so much, Frances. Then I've got some of my own, and these are the ones that Josephine gifted me. Absolutely gorgeous. The ones on the right that say crochet. Now this, guys, is the stack of Tile of the Week Thursday tiles, and as you can see, it's growing. Now underneath all of that, and I will try to back off as much as I can, you will see all of my Spot Saver yarn there on the left. In the middle is my favorite yarn from Spot Saver, those prints, and then on the right is my Malaga yarn and some more Marvel yarn. Now let me go up close so you can actually see. I might just sit down here and you might be able to see better. There we go. Oh, I'm so puffed, guys. I'm so unfit. There we go there. So that is, like I said, just a bookshelf on its side. You've got to make use of what you have, and it turned out pretty good, I think, for storage. It's a nice visual of the yarn as well. Now, you might see me in the little mirror there. I'm just wearing my nightie, guys. Now, in here are all of my little scraps of yarn when I cut them off, because they're great for fibre fill. There's my scrunchies and all my beautiful dolls. Absolutely love them. And one of my dolls there, my daughter's dolls, in the corner there. Now on the floor here, and in those cupboards, I have books and things that one day I'll show you that aren't just for crocheting. Now these are great. These are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 little containers of gradient style, like the colors are actually all matching. It says that it's gradient yarn, but I guess in a way it is. It's all 8-ply acrylic yarn, and one day I will actually use it. It'll be awesome. I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but originally I thought, because I was in such a granny ripple blanket making phase, originally it was going to be for that, but for now I'm not sure. Now let me carefully go up. Here's Tilly. Our lovely friend Tilly. Let me back off a little bit. And she's wearing all the shawls that I've made. Oh, actually not all. I've got a couple downstairs as well. And they're just some squares that I was practicing with ages ago. I thought I would just drape them over there. Now let me back off a little bit so you can actually see my Crochet Society boxes. Now these are 2 deep, so we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 and another 6 hiding in the back. Pardon the lighting in here, guys, it's terrible. And then down on the floor there, I've got my calendar, Crochet Society Cal for 2021. That really needs to be addressed. Now, hiding in the corner, you can see my children's, what was it? It was something hero, like Band Hero, and my son's bongo. They absolutely loved playing with their instruments up here. Now, this is a very old TV, but we do have the Nintendo up here, so I can still watch video DVDs. There's that little mosaic sampler that I made for you. I love that mug. It's absolutely my favorite. And this is just the little area that when we sit up here with Coco's Crochet, we have our kettle. And then on the table, I'll show you in a moment, we usually have a lot more on it. And that will all happen now again. Now, wait till you see this. I absolutely love this. This is my daughter's old bed head for her single bed when she was just a little girl. And I always kept it because I knew one day I would use it for something. And here we are storing yarn in it. Oh, and in a moment I'll show you what's sitting on top of the other cabinet. Now in here is the little doll that I made, Goldie, as we know her now. And those are Coco's toys that Josephine gifted her. How beautiful is that? Now, over here, across here is all baby yarn. It is so extremely soft. And then underneath that we have, let me just take a little seat. That's all my Spot Saver variegated yarn. Absolutely gorgeous. Now underneath that, and let's do this angle here, it's all my blanket yarn, including these 2 boxes here. Oh, and I do have one big box of blanket yarn where I sit to videotape as well, but that's all white. And then here are some, they're not flannel, some fleece ready to be made into blankets. And behind there are all my tea towels that I want to make, you know, with tea towel toppers. Now, I've taken out these yarns here because that's what lives in these 2 boxes in here. It's all the sparkle yarn and, you know, the sequence yarn. So that's what sits in there. There's a couple of my little lovies. Absolutely gorgeous, waiting for new homes. And the rest of the boxes are filled with mill ends. This is, you know, one style that's in there, absolutely gorgeous, and they will obviously be used soon. Now there's about one of my daughter's very old Barbie dolls waiting for, you know, a little crochet dress. So coming across here, you'll see where we sit. There's that cushion that I made, very, very comfy. Let me back off a little bit, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to do this without making you dizzy. Now these are all, well, most of the blankets that I've made. The one on the bottom is our Cal for 2023. The one on top of it is mile a minute blanket. The one on top of that is some granny squares, and they're just greens, and they look like diamond shape. The one after that is a stitch sampler blanket with big squares. So the stitch sampler blanket, that one, and the mile a minute are both from Krista at the Secret Yarnery, and on top is the beautiful mosaic blanket that belongs to my partner. The reason why I have the blankets up here, sometimes it gets very cold and I don't always like to put the aircon on, so it's nicer to have the blankets. Now there's that Granny Ripple blanket, which I absolutely love. Now if we just swing across here without making you dizzy, guys, I also have these up here. So they're all my little amigurumi makes, and of course the little doll that won a prize at the Royalista show. Very proud of her as well. So I'm not sure if you can see them with this lighting in here, but there they are there. Now let me just swing around. Now this coffee table is huge, and I absolutely love it because we've spent many, many hours using it, especially when my children were little, because this used to be our original dining table as well. So again, many hours of, you know, great memories. Now in the drawers now, I just thought I'd leave it open. I'm keeping all my Crochet Now magazines and Simply Crochet, so they're stored in there. Now let me just pan across one more time before I say goodbye. Now in there is that big box of blanket yarn and just a couple of balls of the velvet yarn on top of that. That's all white. And in there's my ring light. So when I've done tutorials, I've used that ring light. Let me swing across here. Now, did I show you this rack? I love this rack. As you can see, it's filled with bags on the sides, and I do use it, you know, to display blankets and things in my videos. But I've realized that I've got a lot of crocheted bags, guys, so I might do a little video on that sooner than later. Now, I think I've showed you everything. Let me back off a little bit so you can have a little visual as I say goodbye. Oh my goodness, very important. Look, guys. On this ledge is Coco's blanket, and that isn't going anywhere. I absolutely love it. That was her beach towel. It's not a blanket, it's a beach towel. Absolutely love it. That's not going anywhere. There's my little basket as well, so that will be staying there. Now, you may have noticed that the carpet tiles need a little bit of changing. I do have some stored downstairs, so I might do that. Otherwise, I was thinking of just crocheting some mats, which will be a good opportunity to try that out as well. So that's it, guys. Now you've seen the yarn room, you know where I sit when we hang out together. And at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you for coming along and being patient with me while I clean up. But this is a very, very special space for me, and I'm so happy that I get to share it with so many of you. So I hope you're all keeping well. Take care, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.